Ladies and gentle gamers, welcome back to To Be Determined. Today we're going to be getting some last minute prep in before the Glaciite Tunnels update drops. It is rumored to drop tomorrow, so if it does, I wanted to get you guys prepped ahead of time. But again, this is on the alpha network, so a lot of things that are here could change before it's made onto the main, and it could change after it's made onto the main. So as of right now, this is what the best Heart of the Mountain tree is going to look like if you are grinding out the new update. So let's jump straight into it. Alright, so before we actually talk about the newer Heart of the Mountain stuff that's all up here, I want to go ahead and let you know what you should probably have your stuff set to before then. So when the update drops tomorrow, we're all going to be Heart of the Mountain level 7 if you've already grinded up to level 7. Unfortunately, there is no overflow, so we will not be able to get up higher than that. So currently, you really don't have to use that many tokens of the mountain. You only need 8 of your current stuff that you have unlocked at tier 7. The rest of it's not really useful. Some of it you could use, like Seasoned Mine Man could be nice if you're not mining 60 or if you're leveling pets, or Mining Madness could be helpful. Maybe a Lonesome Miner, but realistically, you only need this middle row for the most part, so Mining Speed, Mining Fortune, Daily Powder, Efficient Miner. Daily Powder you don't really have to max, but it does help out with your Glaciite Powder, so if you want an extra boost of Glaciite Powder every day, this will be nice. And again, there's not too much else to spend your Mithril Powder on. To max all of these things, excluding Mole you don't really need to max, but to max all of these ones, so Mining Speed, Mining Fortune, Daily Powder, and Efficient Miner, it costs about 9 million Mithril Powder, a little under that, about 8.7 million. So if you've got that, you're good to go. If you don't have that, that's okay too. But I would mainly focus on getting Efficient Miner because the main money from this update is probably going to be from Suspicious Scraps, since those are used to find fossils and get all of the new pets. That's probably going to be what makes the most money. So Efficient Miner helps you mine more blocks, and the more blocks you mine in the Glaciite tunnels, the higher your chances of finding a scrap will be. So I would focus mainly on that one and probably on Mining Speed as well. So those two are the main ones. I'll try to max those if you can, and if you have any left over, you can throw it in Mining Fortune, and if you want that extra base powder per day, then you can do the daily powder as well. Now for Gemstone powder, it cost me about 11 million Gemstone powder to max these 3 right here. So powder buff to get us some more powder. Again, this one's optional, but it is very helpful with starting from 0 Glaciite powder. Then there's Mining Speed 2 and Mining Fortune 2. So I highly recommend going into Mining Speed first because it gets colder. As it gets colder in the Glaciite tunnels, your mining speed slows down. And again, the more blocks you mine will be what gets you those suspicious scraps. So focus on mining speed mainly, and then you can go for Mining Fortune or powder buff. But then once you get to Heart of the Mountain level 8, you unlock access to all of this new stuff. And if you've got your Peak of the Mountain to level 7 and you've done this exact tree, then you should actually have about 10 tokens of the mountain left. Well, actually you'll have 15, but you can buy these and then you'll have 10. So then you can spend that 10 on pretty much everything. I would recommend getting Mineshaft Mayhem and these 5 right here. You don't really need to get Keen Eye. And again, with those leftovers, you can go ahead and go down and make sure you get that mining speed boost as well. But once you get to level 10, if you're going for money, the Gemstone Infusion is nice. But if you're going for scraps and that form of money, then you can just click over and get mining speed boost. Also, Quick Forge can be helpful. So if you do have extra Mithril Powder left over, Quick Forge will probably be nice with all the new items from the Forge. And that only costs about 500,000 Mithril Powder to max. So if you've got that left over, you can do that. But again, at level 8, this is the tree I recommend having. So at the bottom, you can do this if you like. And then at the top, you've got all these. Now, what each of these do is very important. So Warm-Hearted gives you that extra cold resistance so you can stay inside of the tunnels for longer. Dust Collector is nice. It's not required, but it's nice. It can get you some extra scraps over time, but it takes a while to get enough dust anyways to get that, so that one's not really necessary. Daily Grind, again, very nice, but it will take a little bit to pay itself off, so probably at the start you won't want to do this, but eventually as you get enough powder, it'll be good to go for. Strong Arm is pretty nice if you're going for tungsten and umber grinding. Those specifically for like plates and stuff, you know, they can be pretty nice if you're doing that to make money. to pay for other people so that they can pay for keys. You sell them the keys and you make money that way. But no stone unturned. If you're going for suspicious scraps, this one is very important and I highly recommend grinding it out. Now again, if you are going for suspicious scraps, then mole is helpful. So if you have powder left over, you can buy that, because if we warp to the base, whenever you are going to try to spawn a tunnel, that mole level is what lets you mine an extra hardstone block. So if you don't have any mole levels, it's going to be a lot slower. But if we crank up the mole level quite a bit, then you can mine multiple blocks at the same time, and this will help you spawn in your tunnels a lot faster. So again, at level 8, this is your tree that you should have. And if you want to get the suspicious scraps, going for mole as your last perk to go for is pretty good. So once you get to level 9, you unlock 3 new abilities. There's Surveyor, which increases your chance of finding glaciite tunnel. Definitely worth it. There's Sub-Zero Mining, which increases your mining fortune when mining glaciite. If you're going to do that a lot, it can be worth it. And then there's mining speed for glaciite mine shafts as well. So this one is very good compared to this one. This one only increases your mining fortune when mining specifically glaciite, and this one increases your mining speed when mining in glaciite mine shafts. So I'd highly recommend getting these two. This one is optional, but mainly these two. At this point, if you have done all of this other tree, you will have 4 spots left, so you need to use them wisely. At level 10, you get gifts from the departed, which gives you a chance to get an extra item when looting a corpse. Frozen solid, which makes you gain double the powder when killing mobs in tunnels and mine shafts. Dead man's chest, which allows you to gain a chance to spawn an additional frozen corpse in your mine shafts. Excavator, which makes scraps more likely to spawn a fossil. And rags to riches, which grants some extra mining fortune while inside a mine shaft. Now, if you do get your peak of the mountain to level 10, you will unlock 2 more tokens of the mountain, so you won't really have to choose between all these. You can kind of just get everything out of this except for one, so you can choose between Sub-Zero Mining or Keen Eye, which one you don't want, and then just unlock all of these is what I would do. You don't really have to get Excavator because you can reset your Heart of the Mountain at any time now, so you can stockpile your scraps after a few hours and then reset your Heart of the Mountain tree and max out Excavator, so you have a much more likely chance to find fossils. But when you have this much to unlock with your Heart of the Mountain tree, it can take you a while to set everything back up after doing that. So I'd highly recommend getting all of your scraps to a very large amount, maybe even a couple stacks before you do this. Or if you have enough powder, you can just max it out. It's not super expensive, at least at the start. They have made a lot of these upgrades much cheaper, which is a very big deal. So when we got that one to level 50, it was just starting to cost 100,000, and the gifts from the departed used to cost like over 1 million powder at the end. And when we're punching it up, you can see we are almost halfway through it, and it only costs 13,000 glaciite powder. So they have done a much better job of making these things cost less, because this one alone used to cost like 33 million powder to max, which was ridiculous. And now at level 95, it doesn't even cost 100,000. So it's much better. They have scaled things a lot better now, which is very nice. But again, this is the recommended tree that I have if you are level 10 in Heart of the Mountain. So the start doesn't really matter too much. Again, Quick Forge is optional. If you want to take that one off and get both of these options up here after you have maxed out your peak of the mountain, then that is a pretty good way to go. So this is the tree that I recommend if you are going to grind out the new update. It helps you get suspicious scraps, gain extra drops from corpses and find more corpses, and get more glaciite powder every day. So it should be pretty useful, and I don't think there's anything that's really better than this. Again, what you proc into can be based on which way you're going to grind money. So if you're just going to go around the tunnels and mine specifically the brand new gemstones, if you find them, there's a couple spots like right here. This is one of the new ones. You want to just mine here. Cold resistance is going to be very helpful, but the ones that give you extra suspicious scraps and things, they don't really matter. But if you're grinding suspicious scraps, there's a lot of ones that will give you extra suspicious scraps and extra fossils out of those scraps. So highly recommend going for those if you're suspicious scrap grinding. But again, you have enough tokens to kind of proc into pretty much everything at this point. If we reset our Heart of the Mountain tree, you can see you have 25 total tokens, because I am one of them that isn't used currently. So you can choose a lot of different options here for whatever you're going to grind. You can probably cover all that plus some. So again, the tree I recommend, voila, that is the last look. I I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, drop a like, subscribe, and I will see y'all in the next one. Have an amazing rest of your day, and God bless.